right.
Bam.
What's up, everybody? We have episode 48 of Let's Talk Landmark. Welcome. And let me turn.
So we're in the lead, right?
Yes, we are ahead of both of them.
We are in
Landmark
the lead.
Live and the workshop show.
Bam. So we are in the lead. Finally overtaken. Bam. Just like that. So of course we have our illustrious Geo. We have Murin. We have some image of some lady over in the corner.
I have no idea who that might be.
I know nothing.
I had the feeling her camera is just going to magically just start working at some point in time during the night.
It better not.
Oh, it's Katina No Pants.
No, that is so not true.
More like Katina No Bra or something.
That would not be on camera. Thank you. No.
Okay, so this is what we have. Let's kick it off with the Landmark news. See, we need that like sound. We need to dive it in here.
Oh yeah.
And doing soundboards in the background that nobody sees. You know, it just happens. Be kind of cool.
You can get that and do that.
Geo, get on that.
One more. Yeah, Geo, hop on that one.
All right, so.
Your chips are a little loud, Katina.
It's not me.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to it. So, of course, you know, my Wednesday afternoon consists of taking a nap and looking up stuff for the show tonight, which is great. And I kind of poked Terry to find out about the patch, and apparently the patch is getting pushed back another week. Sadly. But it came about a whole bunch of really good stuff that we found out in the process of asking that question. So let's kick that off. My message to Terry was, is the patch still on for tomorrow? His reply was no. Testing has exposed a few issues that need resolving. A couple of large-ish will be 9/9. So, in other words, next Wednesday will be the patch that comes out.
That's kind of cool.
Now Wednesday.
Well, let's talk Landmark after a patch.
Wednesday.
That is, and I was talking to Geo prior to the show, and I was like, they're pulling. I had to look up and pull up the calendar, and I was like, wait a minute, that's coming out on a Wednesday.
Yep.
Now, having it come out on a Wednesday kind of makes you think maybe Let's Talk Landmark. Or I mean, Landmark. I'm sorry, Landmark Live. I'm sorry. Did I screw that up?
I asked, but he didn't answer that one.
Yeah, he didn't answer that one.
No, he didn't.
I screwed that up, didn't I? Oh, wait a minute. We already do it for them anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah, all the time.
All right. So
they're pretty much synonymous nowadays.
Yeah. So that was a big thing, and then Myrma asked this question: are Halas props in yet? Maybe you could just push those out tomorrow. The reply he got was, the props will have to wait for the 9th as well. We cannot easily separate them out. Sorry. But bonus, we should be able to get more of them in this update.
You missed a little bit there, Tenma. It was, we cannot easily separate them out. Sorry. Frowny face.
I skipped that. Yeah. Screw a quote.
I should be reading this.
Yeah. So
then I wouldn't be able to mock Tenma.
So then Murin said,
no more teasers for what's coming, though, eh? Will we get a Landmark Live with the update?
Eh?
And Terry's.
I live near Canada.
Yeah.
Eh?
And
So, I'm so glad I'm not on screen today.
and Terry responded with, teaser. Just saw a design for some new options for use on your claim. How's that?
What's that you say?
Ooh.
New
Right.
options. Ooh.
So, which that was also replied with, I think Rosie may have accidentally beaten you on that teaser.
Beating you with the teaser.
Yes.
That too.
And she teased about one small part of it. Yep. All right. So, I went digging and looking for that post, and what I found was this. My eyes will be thankful when you guys get time of day controls.
Yes!
I cannot wait.
I'm highly caffeinated this afternoon.
So,
I
so
couldn't tell.
now if you take the last thing that Terry said and you take what Rosie said, you have a confirmed time of day controls will be coming into Landmark. That is great. So
There was a
Big
tiny
ol'
bit more
yay.
on that, just to help set expectations. I asked Terry if it was going to be soonish or sometime later. He said they're already working on parts of it, so some of it could be maybe soon, maybe, but it will not be in the next update.
Okay. So those were pretty much some of the big news, and I think this might be a good lead into what my conversation with Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so let me bring that up. Now, about 2 weeks ago, I posted a video of the streaking image over on the forums, and she sent me a message basically giving me her reply and trying to get more information from me and all that other kind of stuff. So, this is kind of what was said between me and Rosie. I watched your blending video this morning, and I'm trying to clarify and sort through blending reports. Maybe you know this, but in case you don't, maybe it will be helpful for you to know that the streaking is probably happening after you apply ice, is because icy thatch and tundra snow are both supposed to blend, or supposed to blend. When you put two blending materials side by side, you get what players call wild blending, because the blending spans the optimized polygons, not the voxels. If the polygons are large, the streaks get long. I believe that when you add lines with the line tool, you are adding polygons to the optimized mesh, and the blending gets better. Watching this makes me think to ask Chris to add wireframe view for you so you can test this. Well, that's no guarantee that that will ever happen. So don't take that. There's no confirmed on that. Okay. All of this is definitely not desirable. Best case, it would blend as expected, but at least that might be why it's happening on your roof. Okay. When you add the snow to the thatch, though, you get zero blending. When I tested tundra snow and halas thatch, sometimes blended and sometimes had a hard edge. Maybe it was due to the angle of the roof or orientation of the angle. I couldn't get to the bottom of it. This is a puzzling graphics bug. If you have any more info on why or when the snow and thatch don't blend at all, please let me know. So I went to testing, and
How'd that go?
the first thing I did was I dropped down, a big square area, and I would basically just select an area, I'd paint it, and the whole entire area that I put down was just the snowy thatch, and then I put snow directly on top of it. And depending on where I put it, it would do the streaking. Pretty much no matter where I put it on it, it would streak. So I started moving it around. And, I'd take measurements to find out how wide the streaking was. It was 40 voxels every single time. And if you put the snow right next to that little area that it stopped at, then you get a hard edge, and that's where the hard edge was coming from. So I did a small little video. I pushed it up to her, explained what I had found. So hopefully they'll be able to come up with a resolution for it. Pray. All right.
Did they ever give us a technical explanation of what changed with blending with the big December update?
It had to been the optimization changes they had made in December. Now, if you remember, they did do a big patch in December, and that was a part of it. And yes,
That optimization you're talking about is the one where there's 3 different resolutions of each texture.
It's just optimization period, because the way it actually treats the blending between textures, and that's what this is referring to.
Okay.
So, but I just figured I'd pop that out there. It was important information. At least I thought it was, and it was in a private conversation between me and Rosie, but I wanted to get it out there. It is being worked on. That is the important thing to take from that. I did let her know that it did not matter the angle that it was at, whether it was 0, at 90, 45, 50, 70, whatever, it would always do the streaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was the flatter the surface, the more it would streak. That was the big take on it. Okay. So, that was the next thing to talk about. Talking about. All right, so
he's going on to talk about.
I'm going to talk about. my English accent sucks apparently, just like
be
the rest of them.
It's the Aussies that go and talk about.
I missed your Japanese earlier, Tenma. Please, pretty please.
Yoroshiku, onegai shimasu.
What's that mean?
That's all you're gonna get out of me. They're gonna do it.
Katana.
Look it up. You figure it out. Okay.
I have no idea what you just said.
Either.
Okay,
It's like
so
when you're a kid, your parents say, "How do you spell something?" They say, "Look it up." If I knew how to spell it, I wouldn't have to look it up. I don't
now,
know.
with all that we've just talked about, they've already confirmed that there's going to be 25 plus props in this next patch. That is a massive amount of props. We have never, ever seen that many props.
All of those related to the Hollis competition?
That's not true. That patch where we got the doors and the shutters and the curtains, there were more than 25 there.
Oh yeah, there was a boatload. But the thing is, they were the same ones in different colors.
Yeah, they were just
That's
the same
true.
ones, different colors. You can't count that.
Okay, fine.
Click, different color. Click, different color. I mean, no, that don't count.
Wild Flame, the picture that Jinsan tweeted today, that was a picture of props.
We're
That's
getting
just
that
concept art he's working on for props, and we're getting there. Okay, I'll shut up.
We're getting to that. Like right like now. Bam. I'm gonna put up this first image here. This one is props. Now there's like 3 different ones of props, but they're named differently. One's props, one's furniture, and then one's decor. But they're all props. Now, these are just concepts. That does not mean that all of these are going to be given to us, okay? But you might be able to pick 1 or 2 out of the whole entire batch there that we might get. You might be able to pick like 5 or 6 out of this one, and 5 or 6 out of the next one, and then, 4 or 5 of them out of the third one. But this will give you an idea of some of the stuff that we might be getting. And I thought this was awesome because Gensan put this out like right before the show started. So I was like rushing trying to get everything put onto these sheets here.
Do I see a volleyball net?
I think it's a fishing net.
That is a fishing net.
It could be a snow volleyball net.
But I mean, we've got new chest at the top. We got some new buckets, barrels, a cauldron. People have asked for a cauldron that they could hang up or something like that inside of the fireplaces and stuff like that. So that's actually not too bad if we can move the handle in some form or fashion. That would be pretty
That's a
wicked.
big F.
Yeah, I got the feeling we don't see that. I see the lantern that they've already given us right beside the pot. it looks like a fish, an Indian style fish trap over on the right hand side there. That hook on the pulley, is going to be awesome. I could see so many uses for that. We've got an anvil finally down in the bottom right or middle right. We've got a few shields there. That's going to be pretty wicked, and some actual weapons along the bottom. We've got picks and shovels and brooms and hammers. Oh, those can be so used in all different kinds of ways.
Oh, heck yeah.
Looks like a plow over on the left-hand side, and of course the cart.
Is that a bandsaw?
That is a bandsaw. That is the old style two-hand saw. Two-man saw, excuse me. Yeah.
That's the one you can play, right?
Well, yes. Bang, 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 bang. And of course,
Hi, Elemental Fiend.
And of course,
Hey,
what's
hello,
up,
man?
Hey, welcome.
And of course, the pots that are over on the left-hand side. Now, like I said before, there's no guarantees on what out of this we will see. There's a chance they may take about 4 or 5 of these off this page. So don't get your hopes up too fast. Let's go to the second image. And this is the furniture set. We have beds. We have chairs. And I love the combinations in here. I mean, not everything looks the same. I mean, if we got all of them, it would be wicked. That way, every room looked a little differently. And they, if I wanted 2 or 3 bedrooms, each bedroom would look differently because they got different beds in it. Or something, I love that table that they have at the center right-hand side there, because you can make a long table, you can make a round table, you can, curved off in long table. A lot of options with just those 3 pieces there.
Oh yeah, I saw that modular. I thought went nuts on it. That's awesome.
Yeah, very modular, and I could see so many uses for that. The bench, the plank bench over there is pretty cool. Like a bunch of really neat stuff in here. I mean, a hanging bridge at the bottom, that's pretty cool. One that actually looks good. So, yeah, like just lots and lots and lots of really cool stuff in that one. Which takes us to the third one. Did I put the wrong image? I probably did. Hold up.
Oops.
I did. I put the wrong image. Hold a sec. Let me fix that.
Good job, Tenma.
I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Fixed. And this is the decor imagery. And I could see like so much being used for this. Those horns, the mountable headpieces and stuff over fireplaces. Oh my gosh, I can just picture it in my head, all the different things you could do with this here. Man, pretty wicked. Now, as for the flag that's there at the bottom, the only thing I have a take back from that is I want it to gently wave. Just kind of gently flap in the wind just a little bit.
Not as much as the flags that we have now.
Right.
Yeah, just a soft movement.
And have one that's stationary and then have one that actually moves. That way you have the one that would be on like an interior, which don't get a lot of wind, and then you have stuff that you would sit outside that would have like the gentle wind and blowing around. I think that would be really wicked. But yeah, I just so much stuff right in there in this one image that, man, like looks like elk horns, femurs, I can see people like taking those tusks and stuff like that and mounting them on the outside of their building, in one way or another, or having them attached to those the little totem end pieces on the roof line.
Yeah.
Be pretty
Dragon
wicked
teeth.
Stuff. Pretty wicked stuff there. So, really, really cool stuff. If you hadn't seen that on Twitter, then or seen it on the forums yet, there it is. So
It's awesome stuff, and I can't wait to see what people do with it because hopefully we get a few of those as props. But we have some people in the game who are really, really good at making voxel props, and I can't wait to see some of that stuff made out of voxels.
yeah, well, I'm the biggest thing, the take back from it. Now, if they can create it in voxels to give a representation of what it looks like, then they take it and then they spice it up and really get that fine detail work put into it. To me, those kind of things is essential for a next gen. You know, if they took and made everything out of voxels, that is not an next gen MMO for me. I want to be immersed in it. You know, I want to feel like I'm there and actually impacting the world, and the world around me is just sucking me in like a vacuum cleaner.
Indeed.
Oh, shut up. And
You're lucky I have a baby crying. I've been muted the whole time.
Now, way to self-censor, Tenma.
Yeah. Now, okay, here, hold up a second. And Elemental Fiends in the channel right now, which will be taking us into the next little section here, and I'm going to let Geo take over on this one.
Cool. So, Balin Stormhammer, and he's here in chat too. Dude, thank you so much for posing all these questions to Elemental Fiend. So he posed a bunch of questions, got some answers, and here is some of the stuff. First is, can we get a copy and paste as putty anything we make? And so and his reply was, so basically you want an option to paste as putty.
And we've kind of asked about that before.
Yep.
We also would like to have a line tool putty tool. And I mean, we already can do it with almost everything else. The line tool is kind of treated in a way like an add tool as it is.
Yep.
So it'd be nice to have a line tool putty as well.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, Balance says, yeah, you need props that allow the ability to combine with voxels to make a voxel hybrid prop. That would be, wouldn't that be cool?
That wouldn't be too bad. It'd be kind of cool. I don't know how it would interact with each other.
There is a limit to the number of props that they can add to the game and still have it be playable. So we have no idea what that ceiling, what that upper limit is, but
yeah, we do.
I suspect we do. I suspect that's one of the reasons why the Voxel Forge hasn't really moved forward. If you got the whole player community just making props nonstop out of stuff.
It used to be 2,000 props per individual claim.
I think total though, in total for your client.
Oh yeah, for the client, yes.
Yeah, there's a limit on the number of props you can have. Balin's second question that he posed was, can we get line tool shapes like circle, triangle, octagon? And the response was, this is a popular request and is on our list. That's great to know. A third was, now this one really hits home for so many people that are building. Will we get a voxel editor where we can move vertices individually? And his reply was, a voxel editor is on the list, and we've heard them discuss that before. We had didn't we have that discussion with Domino?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A
lot of this has so far been straight out of stuff we already asked about.
Yeah. And so is a push-pull type of tool. Mm-hmm. So that is very cool. Murin, you want to take the next one?
Sure. Can we get a prop builder window of some sort? And the response was, this is highly unlikely. There are a limited amount of props that we will ever be able to support in the game. If we allow full creation of props, you can imagine how quickly we would hit that limit. Also, this is a voxel-based game. Props should primarily be used as decoration, not structural elements. There are a number of reasons for this, including performance reasons and aesthetic ones. This doesn't mean in the future we won't support player-made props, but it does mean that we have to be that it will have to be a thorough submission process of some type.
Yeah, and that's the way it is for EQ, EQ2, every game that's got Player Studio where the players can make stuff.
I don't see that happening until after, like months after EverQuest Next is released.
Yeah.
I just don't see it in the game for another maybe 2 years.
I don't see it being a priority for what they need for EQ Next because they're going to want a lot of control over what goes into it. It'll be for what Landmark becomes after EQ Next is live, and maybe they'll let us use that sort of process for creating props for other games that they may use Landmark to help create. Well, but I agree. I don't see it being a thing that they would want before EQ Next.
I could see a Landmark expansion with the
and 2 years is optimistic for me, by the way. 2 years is really optimistic for me, Gio.
Dude, you're gonna make me cry, man.
I'm sorry. I'm just being honest.
They're giving you time to get the movie done, Gio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you, Gio.
Because
they ask me why I drink.
I mean, you think about it. Their pretty much goal right now is getting EverQuest Next out for the first part.
Yeah.
In whatever comes about the creation of EverQuest Next at this point is rollover for us. And a lot of what we're fixing to get in this next patch is going to be probably some rollover stuff. For us, this next patch is a huge patch. Okay, not only the bug fixes, the new props. Props are always candy. It's always candy when we get new props. Still haven't got any new information on new textures that might be in this one, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
But there are the elusive, we don't know what they are yet, building tool updates, which I'm really, really curious to hear what those are going to be. Elemental Fiend, do you want to tell us?
You did say you'd be able to leak something for us tonight. Now might be the time.
Maybe that was before Rosie beat him to the punch.
Yeah. Now, okay. Where were we? Number 5.
Number 5 is next.
Okay.
Can we get some kind of blend tool that basically smudges voxel texture together? And the response on that one was, our graphics guys are talking about a possible solution for giving us better control of blending through in-game tools. I can't wait to hear what that solution is going to be.
I mean, I've kind of brainstormed
Elemental
on
Fiend is asking what our question was.
I don't remember.
I do. We were talking about what's coming in the update that'll be coming out next week. Terry hinted last week that it was going to include some updates to the building tools, but he hasn't told us what those updates are, and we're really, really curious. Can you tell us?
At least something?
Please?
She said it like this, so you can't refuse.
Exactly.
So did Tenma.
Tenma's learning my secrets.
It only works if Gio does that.
Oh.
Come on, do it like
blending
this,
is a
Gio.
really big subject. Save those questions for the next workshop show. Hint, hint.
Right on.
Awesome.
Blending is a really big subject. Save those questions for the next workshop. Very true. That is tomorrow, by the way.
Is it confirmed for tomorrow?
As far as I know, it has not been rescinded.
Awesome.
I'm using the big Terry word right there. It's not been rescinded.
I'm impressed.
Why, thank you. And I was going to show you guys my imagery of Terry for this week.
What do you got?
Let's finish Ballin's list first. We still have like a few more.
Okay.
Number
Katina.
6.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Katina.
Huh? Okay.
Numero 6.
Can we get other select tool shapes? Circle, triangle, so on. This is something we can consider. What sorts of use cases do you see for selection volumes of different shapes?
I don't see that. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that's.
Can we
Select
get
tool
another
shapes.
select tool shapes?
We have a ball, not just a flat circle.
Now, the one thing I did notice over on Voxel Farm is the way they have their tools. They actually can take the corners of a selection box and drag it down, drag it over, and drag it in, just like your regular arrow tools, to move the volume around. They can grab the corners and maneuver those around in the same fashion. I think
like that idea.
I think that would be more plausible, because I mean the technology is kind of already there, than to have a different shape selection tool.
Yeah, but is that what he's talking about at number 3? A push-pull type of tool?
For editing voxels?
I don't know.
I mean,
That's for editing individual voxels,
Yeah,
like
that's-
using that instead of a voxel reactor to move the corners of your voxel.
Yeah, that's slightly different there.
Yeah, now, have we talked about seeing the number for the angle or the percentage of movement that you have when you're moving stuff around?
That would be really,
rotating?
really nice.
So helpful.
Yeah, the
'Cause
percentage.
We're all math freaks here, and yeah.
Don't tell Coraine that, because she tell you she wanted to kick you in like certain places you don't want her to kick you, because she don't like the math. She does not.
There she
like
goes.
The math. Yep, what I
She's
tell you.
coming.
I told you.
I'd like to.
I told
We
you.
get that feature. We get that feature. I want to see what Bob Dob does.
Oh my God.
Just saying.
I'm scared to know what Bob Dob's going to do.
Elemental Fiend said yes, he actually wrote a nice big document that adds all sorts of numbers to the translation widgets. The stuff is on the list.
Sweet.
Yay.
Sweet.
Thank you,
Elemental Fiend.
You rock.
Yeah,
Bob.
Baby
even the
thinks you
baby
do.
gave you a thumbs up. You hear that? That's major kudos right there. I'm trying to find this image so I can get it on a document so I can actually show it to you guys. So,
In the meantime, I'll read number 7.
yeah, please do.
Could we get a voxel smasher tool so we can take a shape and reduce it down to a quarter voxel, half voxel, eighth voxel thick? Would like to, and the response was, I would need to see an example of what you're trying to do to understand what the tool should do.
I can answer that question.
Okay.
We did it on the show with Geo,
Yep.
actually. And basically, you make a checkered board layout on the ground. It's just every other voxel, and then every other voxel, every other voxel. You pick it up, you paste it up in the air, you make a selection of that area, and then you smooth it. And what it
Now,
does,
can you-
it
now, can you
compresses the voxels like this, but retains the voxel sizing this way.
Yeah. Now, what we need is like a hammer tool. Just the hammer tool, smack whatever side of the voxel you want to compress.
And every time you use the hammer tool, stop. Hammer time.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Okay.
Balin hammer time.
Corinne says, what's a translation widget? And she hates numbers. All right.
I told you. I told you.
Raz actually has a great one. He wants to be
Shoot.
able to type in the number of the angle himself.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
Yeah. That. Wow.
That's what I was telling Corinne. That's what I was trying to tell Corinne today. And
I
she
know.
was like,
She
I
heard
don't want
numbers. It
numbers.
tuned you out.
I don't want to hear numbers. I don't want to say. I don't want to play with numbers. And yeah, that's kind of how it went.
Yeah. Elemental.
Exactly how it went.
Exactly. So. I'd like to be able to smack the top of the voxel to compress it down this way, and then smack the bottom of it to flatten it out, so I can decide if all the volume is going to be at the bottom, the middle, above, and a certain amount with every hit. That would be really, man, super cool. That would, wow.
Yeah, Elemental Fiend got it. So flattening out voxels, turning them into sheets.
Well, there's that way, and then there's leave the bottom the way it is and just compress the top down towards the bottom like this. So that's the other directional. It's just making panel voxels, but I mean, you could go to a swap meet and pick them up pretty quick anyway.
Yeah, but having a hammer tool like that, where you can just hit any side of the voxel to compress it, and that would just be sweet. It would be fun. That would, wow. It would be a time saver.
Yep.
But wouldn't the voxel editor essentially give us the ability to do that?
Yes.
If you
Yes.
can control every corner, then that
Exactly.
gives us.
But
what
you
we
know
need
how
to
much
make
more
that
fun
happen.
the hammer would be? Just saying.
Okay, so we all get nice little push-pull corners, and they'll give you a big hammer icon to go.
Thank you.
As long as they get rid of the boots, we're happy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's part of the update.
Make it a toggle option.
Yeah, given the boots a toggle option would be
Yeah.
just prime right now. So
Yeah, and he says that it sounds like the push-pull tool. Yeah.
I do notice he's totally avoided the question of can he tell us anything that's coming for the tools.
well,
But he
He's
is
totally
answering our
avo-
questions.
I know, but he hasn't actually said if you could tell us anything specific we haven't asked about.
all right. Where are we at?
Yeah, you told us
Can we-
that already, Elemental Fiend. That the
Can we
boot
get
icon
more
is down
shapes for
internally.
the add, delete, and smooth tools? And he says we have several new shapes on our list.
Okay, I'm what?
Oh,
Where
I
you
skipped
at?
one. And so this is right after 8. What are some emitters and props coming? For the time being, new props and emitters or anything of the sort will almost certainly stem from whatever theme the current workshop is.
Well, the one thing that we have been begging for a long time when it comes to emitters is lightning.
Dublin.
Oh
My God!
We just got our. We
Yep.
just got our teas. You should see the shapes we have internally.
And I just said when.
Awesome.
Yeah, Devlin, we were touring some Frankencastle thing, and this was, my God, this was back in November, and yeah, he's been asking for the lightning emitter since then. We need that.
Well, we've been asking for lightning since back
Need
when
it.
Monster Build first started. Monster Build.
Yeah,
That was last year.
We need it. We need it. We really, really need it.
Because if you remember, there was 2 of those like Tesla coils that came up like this.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
And they handmade lightning in between it, and it looked like this. And I was like, man, it would be like so cool if it was real lightning.
Oh, that'd be
And that was
pretty nice.
used in one of the builds that I'm talking about.
Yeah. So we've been asking for that for a while. But
Yeah.
and then of course we didn't get emitters until that December, and of course that particular was prior to August of last year.
Yeah.
So
Oh, he just said he'll ask around to see if there are any lightning effects they can take and stick on an emitter.
awesome.
Yay!
Thank you.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God.
We do need a new round of emitters. I mean they have not changed since December at all. We're still using
Well, we
the
need to
same
give
ones.
them. We need to give them a list of
Waterfall.
What would be,
A waterfall emitter that is shorter than the big one.
Without the pool on the end of it, because that screws you up where you want to put it.
Well,
Yeah, it should just have the water and you put it where you want it.
I do have a question for Elemental Fiend. Is it possible to give us a mirror texture or a mirror prop? I mean, is that feasible? Would that screw up the game, or is that something you guys have talked about?
My understanding is that it's technically possible to do mirrors in games, but they can be a huge resource hog. And in games that have them, they're really limited to small rooms where they have a lot of control over what's going to be reflected in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
With a voxel-based game where we can do whatever we want
Yeah.
with surfaces, I don't
I
think that
see-
they'd say it's feasible.
yeah, I see people trying to make a complete tower out of mirror.
Mhm.
And I don't think that's a good idea.
Popped up.
I mean, you thought the old orbs were bad when you put like 10 of them in one room?
Mhm.
That
That's crazy.
mirrors would make that look like
I'm just thinking of all
child's
the
play, okay?
of all the bathrooms and all the houses, that have a pseudo mirror. Yeah.
I'd rather have
Yeah.
yeah.
Two things Elemental Fiend said. First, the mirror thing. I'm skipping the first thing he said, but he said the mirror thing is a question for Klug. He doesn't know what would be required on the shader side to get a decent mirror. The thing before that, though, he said that the thing about emitters is that I want to do something better. Messing with those tiny props is a pain. We totally agree.
Well, I thought of kind of like treating it like a regular prop. You know, when I mouse over it and or excuse me, correction. Have the area, like the area tool, where you can turn on areas or not, and have the props highlight themselves. So I can just go over there and, okay, boom, I can change that one. And then after I make my changes, I turn off highlight props. Something like that, I think, would be awesome, because then it allows you to either see it or not see it and not have to worry about that little triangle thing.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's down, it's down. There's no interaction unless you have turned on that option to see the highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And that way it interacts and works exactly like the area tool in that fashion.
Yeah, because
And-
they're almost impossible to find.
Exactly. I think that would be the best approach to that. And that way you've got something you can physically still be able to click on, do all this kind of stuff with it just by right-clicking that particular prop. The only issue is overlaying props with another prop.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a very, getting your mouse exactly on top of that one prop. It's always been a problem anyway. So honestly, I think that's probably the best way to go anyway. Just have an option to turn it on, turn it off to highlight.
He said, my thought is some tool or mode that allows you to adjust things like lighting or emitters without having to touch a prop. That would make many of us very, very happy.
That would be kind of cool. Especially with like fire and light, and definitely the lights. I still hate the new orbs with a passion.
They're hideous.
They're hideous.
Yeah, I do not like them.
They don't produce the light like we used to get. I mean,
They're black.
I'm guessing they were designed to help reduce collision.
yes, they were. And that was a big issue we had, and that was the reason why we got so much lag from them before. And they kind of at least cut the lag in half by doing what they did, but at the same time,
It'd be nice if we.
but we're getting
Well,
we're getting something else,
okay.
which is pretty cool. Did we already spill the beans about that? Oh yeah, we
I
did.
think, yeah, you
From
did.
what-
It was
what Rosie said.
when you first started, yeah.
What Rosie said. So we're going to be getting, control over our
Some point.
lighting, which is going to be awesome. Time of day controls.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish we knew when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean
figure-
what time of day?
We'll be able to control
Yes,
the time
what
of day
time
on
of
our
day we'll
claim
get
in
control.
some way.
We'll see.
Elemental Feed had another thing in chat. He said they're working on non-uniform scaling of shapes. Not sure how it'll translate to props.
Well, and that'll be handy for ropes, for rope
Rope.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
to make
I would-
rigging. If we could stretch it, one way without having it get,
I think in that regards, it should be limited on what you can manipulate like that.
Rope would be a perfect.
Rope is perfect for that, but there's other stuff that I would totally disagree to even touch it, because you can. Yeah, I think on certain other props it's a bad mojo.
Every time a Tell Lurker is talking about the jumping with the palette panel, when you select something. Can you explain that for Elemental Feed? I would, but I got too many noises here.
Okay. I'm going to try to do it from your perspective here, at least I can. So if my elemental panels, or my texture panel is like right here. If I go up to the top and I do a search for, I don't know, Tile Lurker's green bananas texture or something, and it's at the bottom of the list, I go down and I click on it to select it. As soon as I select it, I'm back at the top of the list again. And I have to scroll all the way back down to click on Tile Lurker's green bananas or stupid looking apples or something, texture over here. And I have to keep scrolling down to get to the next texture that could be like side by side by side. Now, I like I said before, I still think that having a little little window up there that I could drag certain textures up to that I could quickly switch in between would be a lot more better.
Yeah, and Talurker says it doesn't retain the search after selecting one.
Correct.
So
That's a big one too.
Yeah, yeah, and but yeah, I've already made my post about the whole mini palette.
He said we're getting a mega palette.
What is the mega palette, Elemental Fiend?
He's going through it with a comb now.
That must be
a mega comb or a.
That sounds pretty cool.
Is that like Pantera's 100-ounce cup?
Oh God,
I have
that's
not
just
seen
scary.
this.
That's scary.
He goes, it's nothing. Oh no, you can't say.
Oh.
All right.
Nice try. You had too many emails in this chat for that.
Well, that right there, we'll leave it at that. I'm happy just with that. That's cool. Thank you.
He's given us some good teasers today.
That's a good teaser. We'll leave it at that because I've got another teaser for you. You ready? And this will be pretty much the end of the show. Give me a second here. I got to change this imagery.
Well,
The
while
last
he's doing
thing-
that, Elemental Fiend, thank you so much for coming tonight.
No kidding.
Oh yes,
Really appreciate
absolutely.
And lastly, Balin had a question. Had a question about the AI stuff, and as we know, that's not really coming until next year. And they got AI stuff. They've got it on their end, but they're not ready to expose it to us yet because
God.
I get.
It's just so wrong.
So Pantera basically was posting imagery of Terry wearing spandex and like these little jumper looking things like a wrestler would use or something. And so I had to come to Terry's defense, and I thought it was kind of funny.
That's awesome.
And that is the Terminator, by the way, from the movie The Terminator. I thought it was.
Dude, brilliant job, man. That is spot on. And it's the only picture you could find with sunglasses.
Yeah, that was the only one I could find with Terry with sunglasses up there, and it took me a while to get it all like cut out and to look halfway decent up there. I thought it was funny as crap though. But I think that just about covers the greater majority.
Yeah, I think so.
Or did we go through the full list? Balin's full list?
We might have missed one thing.
We did.
What did we miss?
No.
Bottom thing.
Okay.
No, Geos was talking about that, the AI.
The AI, yeah. Yeah, we know about the AI.
Okay. Well, I mean, the AI tools, what I see it, that is a big one of those big time sink items. That's not something you can just go here, get this done this week. I just don't see that.
I mean,
happening,
they're going to need those for dungeon building inside EverQuest Next. So it's logical that they're building it for EQN, and that we'll get a version of that for making our own games, basically. So.
But yeah, that's there's certain things you have to like. Yes, this is a big time sink item, but they've already told us that pretty much right now is quality of life is the big thing right now, and that quality of life is going to have to make it. You're basically going to have to suck it up after this quality of life stuff goes in. You're going to have to suck it up for a few months. Because they have got to get back on the ball with EverQuest Next, and so these next patch, 1 or 2 patches that we're going to be getting, that's it for this year.
Probably.
That's the way I look at it.
Here and there, I imagine. But this is huge for us. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's how I look at this. You fix a little quality of life stuff, and they're going to have to step back and get back in the game to get EverQuest Next up to par. That's the way I look at it.
Flight potion, invisibility potion.
Growth potion.
It would be nice to have a potion for each Tenma.
Tenma. Behave.
Katina and I are being so good today.
Tequila. All right.
It would be nice to have a potion for each race that'll resize your character to the size of the various races, so you can see how builds are playable as each of the races. So you can see that if you're a gnome, as if they're going to be in when the game comes out, how a gnome would work in a build, and if you're Ixar, how that would work in a build.
See,
fan, quote unquote,
he knew what I was talking about.
Oh, he's laughing. No, he is.
Okay, we won't call it a potion. We'll call it a tiny blue pill. See, you got to do it. You got to admit, one of the coolest things about us doing this show is we do not have limitations on what we can and can't say on it. All right, so
someday when he has time, you should show him some of your quotes.
Oh God!
Not during this stream, but
oh my gosh,
another day.
14.
I agree, Bob Fizzle, that all
14.
they definitely made it clear that all builds should be made to the largest character. But if you can't run around as the largest character, then you don't know how it feels to run around as the largest character in a build.
Exactly.
The same's true for the smallest character. If you want something to be visible to every character up on a shelf, if you can't run around as the smallest character, you don't know what they're going to be able to see.
Yeah. A question for Elemental is: Can the character models be scaled? I mean, can our existing character model can it be scaled up and down? If we can, then a potion will work. Just change the size.
I think it should be something that it's not a permanent type potion. It's got to have a time limit on it.
Oh yeah.
That's why I said well, a
5 minutes
by default has a limit on it.
5 minutes. That's it. And you have to get materials from from down in the ground. You got to get materials to make the darn thing.
You got to work it.
Yeah, you got to work it for them.
And that will give you actual reason to use those materials and to go into the cave system. All that
on a bottle of wine ain't gonna cut it.
All that reasoning for us to go down into caves have been taken away. That part of the game loop is now. Because they've given all this free mats and all this other kind of stuff, and I'm sorry, put the freaking game loop back in the way it is.
Yeah, Elemental. Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Sorry, I ranted.
If the characters, if the current model could be scaled up, then it would make sense to me at least that a potion could be given to us that would allow us to change the size of the character. If you got a scalable character model, then that would work.
Yep, a dual command. That's another one. Being able to right-click Geo and beat his butt cheeks. I was about to say the A word. Now I stopped myself.
Oh, now you're getting Murin all excited. She's thinking, foot in. Oh yes, I got my shoes.
I don't want to see your naked legs, man. Come, stop.
Oh my God, there's Crocs.
Stop. I want to see the naked legs. All right. Because, I can show you mine, too. Because I'm wearing shorts right now.
Yeah, Elemental Fiend, we do have to dig for a lot of stuff. We still have to chop down trees. But many of us have gotten to the point where we have almost all of the materials that we need. So unless something comes along where I need a ton of emerald, I probably don't need to go down into the caves because I don't have a ton enough emerald. I have a lot of everything else, And
it's very rare.
Consumed.
Nothing's being consumed for the most part right now. Where at one time, if you made a prop, there was no disassembling it. Mm-hmm. Which, when they put in the disassemble option, you're never losing any materials.
Yep.
And now granted, it's cool, but there should be a cost associated to the disassembly of some sort. Whether it's 50% of the materials to make it or not, it still needs a cost to it. Because at this point, you're just getting back everything that you got. For the most part. I mean, you might lose a little bit, but you're not losing enough to actually start losing materials to force you to have to go back down into the cave system.
Well, we don't want to lose all of it, just a portion.
Yeah, something like 25 40%, you know, somewhere in that range.
It is a difficult balance, though, because there are a lot of people, and like Metallic was saying, there are a lot of people that really don't want to have to go in the caves. If they build something and take it back down, they want to be able to reuse their materials because they really don't like that part of the game. And so there's a difficult balance between the people who want to purely build and the people who want to adventure and build.
I say put a station that only exists in the caves where you have to make the potions. That you can only make those potions in the caves.
Yeah, that's when vendors would come around, and we'd actually have vendors in the game standing around that you can actually purchase things from. You'd have to find one in a cave.
See some slog standing there?
Or something. Now, it's the simple fact that I have gone down into the cave system a total of 2 times in the past month and a half. And that's because...
Oh, me too. And both times it was an accident.
And it was normally because I just didn't I just didn't have enough iron. So I went down into the cave system long enough to cap out everything I had for iron. And guess what? I ain't got to go down to the cave systems anymore. Because I hardly ever will lose any. Not unless I build on somebody else's claim.
Forcing people into the caves is wrong. Draw them into the caves with fun. That's the only way to make it not bad.
Well,
exactly.
If you're going down there to get materials, to get something that's fun, then yeah, that it's still fun. And that growing potion is part of that fun.
Well, yeah, that's part of the fun, but going to get the materials needs to be fun too. There
are people that love that.
Oh yeah, there are, but I think they're the minority at this point, and it needs to be made more fun for everyone. In some way, and I don't know what that is because I'm not the game designer.
You're never.
Oh no, not everybody, but a majority of people need to have fun doing all of the systems in the game. Otherwise, the game is not going to be. It's going to be abandoned in some ways if most of the systems aren't fun to most people.
Guys, I gotta get my son to bed.
And Bob Fizzle doesn't agree with me on this, but it's like this: if you don't like going down into caves, find somebody that does.
That's true.
Burful loves it.
Loves it.
He does. He lives for it.
And if you don't believe me, you should see his warehouse.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if you have not seen Burful's warehouse, he has 1,000 material on each pallet, and they're all stacked to the roof. And the whole entire claim, which is something like how big is that place?
4 to 6 claims each. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, 4 to 6 claims each. I mean, he's got like materials out of his yin yang, and if you ever wanted any, you have to contact him. I mean, there are people out there that they love the caving. They love that portion of the game, and if you as an individual that don't like it, find somebody who does. I mean,
yeah, he's got an average of 5 million for each material.
Yeah, there's like certain people, like I know Fugazi hates caving and has been a totally against ever going down into a cave, and everything should be free, you know, that sort of thing. But you know, if he doesn't like caving, then contact Burful. Find out one of those guys that really does like that kind of stuff. And
Tim, I gotta head out.
All right, well, let's go ahead and end the show, and we can save this conversation for later. You wanna duke it out? Come into TeamSpeak, buddy. Bring it on. You know, 1920 style fighting.
Slash Jewel.
All right.
Thanks for coming by, Elemental Fiend. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
thank you very much.
Have a great one, guys, and we will see you on the next episode, episode 49 on Monday over on Geo's channel. Geo, what have you got going for this week? Quick.
Too
late.
We had our 1 year anniversary.
I'm
just screwing
tomorrow. I'm streaming Friday. I might be streaming over the weekend, and then I'll be streaming Monday again as well. Monday and Tuesday.
Okay, you took up more time than Geo. Geo, pick up a few seconds. Go.
We had our 1 year anniversary today, so of the Morning Brew. It was awesome. I had a great time, and we'll be doing the brew the rest of the week.
All right, Katina, go.
Congratulations.
Still building, and yes, I have been building, so don't even say I haven't. You're just not allowed to see it.
All right. Awesome, guys. And
what are you doing, Emma?
What am I doing? I am building that second Holos build right on the show, and hopefully in the process of trying to show you my process of thinking as I'm building it.
That's scary.
And of course, what was it? Tuesday? Monday? Tuesday. It was
Tuesday.
it was one of those days. Gio came on the show. I'm gonna be pushing that up to YouTube. Yesterday. We're gonna be pushing that up to YouTube and letting you guys watch the Follow the Leader. That is your daughter, right? That's your son.
That's Chet.
All right. Well, have a good one, guys. We'll see y'all in the next episode.
Bye, folks.
What the heck?
That's a riot.
He's trying to get in trouble.